just roll with it. And I'ma just roll with it.
Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to Coffee with Tara. Many of you guys know that I'm a big foodie and I kind of know how to cook a little. I'm still dibbling and dabbling, so I love food, so it's only right to have Arizona's almost like the best meal caterer. He's a meal prep chef and he's awesome. Mr. Ron Young is here today, blessing us today. And if you guys stay tuned, you'll get to see him make a salad for us. So we got to see if my salads are up to par to his. But I'm just so glad you're on here today, and I just wanted you to share with our listeners just the heart behind Food Vision and who put that on your heart. Was it God, or where did that come from? But
no, I want to say thank you for the opportunity of being here. You know, this is something that I take pride in, being able to tell my story, be able to reach other people that don't believe that anything is possible. So that's thing,
And what I love about you is like you are such a humble guy. You know what I mean? Like you are someone who has accomplished a lot, and you don't just like brag about that, or you don't go overboard with that. You're silently just changing, the community and just doing great things.
Well, it first starts within yourself first. It's not really, I thank God for what I can do for the community, but mostly for myself as a man, and the transformation that I'm making as a man is the biggest goal I'm trying to reach.
Amen. I love that you incorporate God with that, because many people do awesome things and they just give all the praise to themselves. They believe that they did it on their own, but God is he's amazing, and he does a lot of stuff, and his strength is what helps us to be successful. So the fact that you thank him is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where when it comes to, talking about God, it's how you approach it. I have a meeting every Thursday with my pastor, but we talk about things like this every Thursday. It's just how do you reach people? And I never want to be gun-ho about Jesus. I like to give a person an opportunity to, just to hear the story and then incorporate what it took to get that far.
So many people know you as an amazing meal prep chef, and you also do like event catering, but what got you into being a chef, and how could you describe yourself as a chef?
What got me into being a chef is, for those that know, and which is people that are close to me, my mother is always cooking. She's not.
Can she throw down?
She can actually cook. I tell people all the time, she's not she's not, when it comes to cooking her food won't look good on the plate, but fork to mouth is probably the best I've ever had. And just to be able to recreate her food into what we call a culinary style of cooking is kind of dope, because everything I present is something that my mom's probably made sometime down my timeline in my life. So it's just dope to be able to share my food.
Wow, so it's kind of a deeper meaning for you. It's a way that you could just remember your mom, and so cooking is just something that it's important.
Well, anybody can cook, but like I always say, food without passion is just food. So I consider myself cooking. I cook with a lot of passion, and everything I put in it is something that goes down through generations. Something my mom and her mom was doing. So I'm just happy I'm able to share it with other people.
For sure. So have you always wanted to cook, or how did you get into that, or did you have a different plan originally?
Oh well, how I had a totally different plan. I was just just like any other dude. I was chasing sports. And
what sport did you play?
I actually played football and I ran track. So those were my two main focus at the time. But I just like anything, sometimes God has to let you go out there and experience some things first for you to actually find what your calling is.
Wow, that's good.
Like I said, the more and more I meet with my pastor, and the more I get deep into what my purpose is, I realize it's deeper than cooking for me. It's mostly the people that I'm reaching, and the people that are following me because of me cooking. So it's just an instrument, and I'm just happy to be, like I said, happy to share with other people. But
it's amazing, because even my brother, he's someone who loves sports, and basketball was what he was doing. He got scholarships for college, and then he got injured, but he felt like it was such a setback, you know, and he was like devastated when he couldn't play, but God was really aligning his future for him, you know.
Yeah.
Now he has a Christian clothing line that is super dope. You guys rep JC Clothing. This is even a shirt from it. Love that, neighbor. But it's just interesting how we have a plan and God's like, no, I have something even better.
Even better,
you know?
yeah. I mean, just to break it down even go further, like in high school, you know, I had, there was a period of time in my life where it was like my senior year, the big year for me, for those that follow me in football. I had my coach, he was, I don't know, I thought he meant well, but what he had told me that day, that night was, he had brought me in and he was like, bro, you're not gonna make it nowhere without sports. And I've always carried that with me. So every time I played, I always played with that urgency of like, I won't make it out of where I'm at unless I'm scoring a touchdown or outrunning somebody. So that was in my head. So when I got injured, I felt the same devastation because I felt like there was no, that was it. That was my meal ticket to being successful in life. So just to be able to, you know, just, you know, that it took me like at least 2-3 years just to overcome that, just to have the idea to know that I can do other things other than, you know, run a ball or outrun somebody. So
that's,
you know,
really good.
That's really good. So I mean, it's tough sometimes, man. It's tough sometimes, and for anybody that does sports, that is something that's a part of the game they don't teach you, life after sports. So not just in a pro athlete, but just in a kid in himself who trained himself his whole life to be great. And to, you know, but on the flip side, there's things that I've learned through sports that are carrying me now. Like to be able to endure, and those are things that all that stuff I had to learn in sports. You know, those quick decisions, that stepping out on faith and making it and just deciding what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And what you want to do. So I took pride in everything I did. So playing running back and all that stuff, I love those times that I played sports. Do I pay attention now? No, because I felt that was a time in my life that opened the door from where I am right now. Now I need to focus on what I'm doing right now.
That's really good. Yeah. So if you could describe yourself as a chef with a few words, how would you describe yourself?
I could consider myself like an underground chef. I don't do things like a normal chef does all the time, but I like to be limitless. I consider my father to be limitless, so I don't put no limitations on what I do with my hands or what I create with my mind and my heart. So just to be able to show that to people and people to start recognizing that, you know what I'm saying, it's amazing to me. It took me a long time to create Food Vision and to convince people to trust in my gift. So
I don't think a lot of people get to see like all the hard work that you really put into it. They just think like overnight, you became this sensation. What grit did you have to do? Like, what work did you put into it? And were there times that you felt like giving up?
Man, there was a bunch of times. I know, for those that do know or don't know, I worked at Victoria's Secret. And
I worked there too! Retail. The struggle.
I worked at Victoria's Secret. And for those that worked at Victoria's Secret know the grind it takes to work there. And so, Victoria's Secret, and I was working at Nike. And when God laid this vision on me of who I was, I also had to take on starting my vision. So I was working those two jobs and trying to get my food out to people at the same time. So I'm doing three. Yeah, I was on the grind. So I was doing 3 different things at once, also at the same time. There was a period of time where I didn't even have a place to stay. So that's why I give back. That's my giving back part of myself to kids and also to homeless people, because I had to stay in a shelter and figuring my life out just like anybody else had to do. So just to be able to, just to say I overcome that is deep. I tell people it's always deeper because, I've been dealing with this because once you get something going, people tend to, instead of following their own way, they'll follow in what you're doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's something spiritual we got to deal with, knowing your confidence in your God, knowing this way He designed this for you. So, I know that I struggle with that sometimes, but other than that, I just, it took a lot. It took a lot. I used to pay people to use the kitchen because I didn't have a place to stay. So just so I can cook, so I can make. I may have one client, her name is Outlaw, which I'm gonna call her out right now. She's been my client for about like a year now, so since I started this. So she used to give me $100. I literally tell her all the time, like I learned through her $100 because without her giving me that 100, I couldn't cook anymore. You know what I'm saying? So the more that she sold into me, the more I was able to step into my limitless and be able to try new things and open new doors and stuff like that. So like I tell people, it's every day. How much time are you willing to put into yourself?
Wow,
we put a lot of stuff into our jobs and to the people that are around us, but we don't really focus on how much time we spend on ourselves.
Amen. Yeah, that's so true. Like I feel like sometimes it's hard because it's like you want to be paid for what you're passionate about, but then you're working like a corporate job or something, and sometimes you lose sight of what you wanted and your visions, and you're so busy working towards somebody else's, it could be rough, So I kind of just been seeking God and getting to the point where I can do both. I may need to make money doing something else, but
you always gotta feel yourself. You gotta feel your dream. You gotta have money to put into yourself. But the best way to get money for your dream is to sow into God, because
that's good. Come on.
Because that's one of the toughest things. Everything I'm telling y'all is stuff that I go through on a daily basis, and I realize sowing into God is the best way to sow into yourself, to make sure that you have what you need.
Wow.
Because God never fails. He never lies. So if He said He'll cover you, and you just gotta believe that He'll cover you, and that's something I know I had to do with. Weekly giving to God and understanding and understanding that I'm taking from myself to give to Him. I had to turn that reverse, and I was giving to Him to give back to myself. So once you master that and understand that part of the game, then that's when things start coming together.
Amen. And you could never outgive God. Like some people feel like, oh, I only got this. Like I can't give that to God. If you give it to God, He will multiply what you have. There's been times that I'm like, I do not feel like giving this $10 or something, but I did it anyway, and God gave me way more than that,
Well, another thing is too, giving is not just material things. Giving can also be of yourself. So time that you spend, that time that I give to those kids, there's nothing I'm getting paid for. That's just time that I'm putting into them. So I feel like those seeds that you plant into those kids, and me being able for that one moment to tell them that anything is possible, that they can do anything. Because a lot of those kids that I do that for is kids that parents are locked up or on drugs or something like that. So people need to understand the best giving is to yourself. How much of yourself can you give to someone else? I feel like that's what God asks us for. Because the last time I checked, He gave Himself for us to live. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that is one of the biggest, the ultimate sacrifice is by giving yourself material things. Money, especially money, it comes and goes. If we got away from this, but I wanted to say what's your job? Because you were talking about corporate, which
I'm a teller.
I worked for Larry H. Miller for a little while, not for a little, for a long time, and I worked those hours, and I understand that the best way to do it is to trust yourself. We put too much of ourselves on other people. So I work for Larry H. Miller, who I never met, who no one in his family can guarantee me my future.
That's
but
good.
I wake up every morning and I give him 30, 40 hours a week of my time. So now, or more if you're working corporate, because now you're set on salary. So it's just, people just gotta realize, trust yourself. And the main little things that we kind of get confused on is trust is one of them, which we have a problem trusting God, and just all that stuff, faith and understanding. Those are the things once you start mastering those things, everything else starts making sense. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I went from working 3 jobs to, which was Nike, Victoria's Secret, and doing my food thing, to God completely pushing me away from those things and having me focus steady on my goal. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's not an overnight thing.
It takes time.
And when you make that transition, when you fully committed to your dream, just understand that every day is you have that fear, because tomorrow's not promised. So if you don't wake up and grind for yourself, y'all was like, you get up at 5. I'm trying to learn how to get up earlier. So I feel like I miss out, because I feel like I'm missing out on something.
For sure. So how did you come up with Food Vision? Did you have any partners, anybody, or did you just wake up and you were like, I'm gonna come up with this name, Food Vision, and I'm gonna go hard?
Actually, I was in Scottsdale. It was like 2 days before my birthday, and I was standing by, which your brother might know, that little that little taco shop out there on Scottsdale, and something breaks off. You know, it takes, people fighting, and I get hemmed up. And I wasn't even involved. I just got hemmed up because I was in the area and they was trying to figure out who was what. So they looked up everybody. I still had some weird traffic warrant out there, so I get locked up. So they sent me all the way to Phoenix.
What were your thoughts when you were in there?
Yeah, that's what I went to. Yeah. So I get in there, and I mean, at this time, Food Vision was already thought of, but it was just something I was just thinking about. It was nothing that I was taking serious. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what happened, but I ended up getting separated from everybody else, which is weird because they don't usually do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I know that, but they don't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the cell by myself. I'm in a full suit, and I'm like, my suit's it's like $400 for the suit, and the shirt was like $200. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sitting in the suit because I remember telling the officer I'm not sitting on the ground. So we get in there. I'm sitting there, and I swear on everything I love, I'll never forget this day. I'm sitting there on top of the bunk bed, and I'm like, I don't even know how I'm gonna get out this situation. I don't know what I can talk to, whatever. And I'm like, God is like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Why? And I'm thinking, like, why am I here? Like, what did I do?
I don't belong here.
I don't belong here. Yeah. So then, right then, I knew that I made my mind up. Like, I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be here anymore, and I'm never put myself there. And I just decided. That's just what I did. I just decided. If people would just decide what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just make a decision. Like, and no matter rain, storm, it can hell outside, whatever, I will knock on everyone's door to tell them about Food Vision. Yeah. So, that's when my mind started, that's when my mind started going.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking of just different ways how I can get people to believe in what I was doing. And then, like I said, that all starts with yourself. Once I convinced myself and decided this is what I was gonna do, and this is what I was destined to do for the rest of my life. And then the more I dug for that, the more I started searching for God, because I was looking for an answer.
Wow. Yeah.
So the more, I've always known God, and I've always been a part of my life, but I really wanted to know more. So once I decided, like, I'm not doing things my way anymore. I've done everything possible that I can do for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm flipping, this is where it's got me. So now let me try something new.